Hello everyone, I'm super excited to have the next ALM Octane user session today with one of the people I love to work. It's Stefan Berchtold from Sunrise. I've been knowing him since the last 10 years, but really get the chance this year to work more intensively with him. And he is a release manager, test manager at Sunrise, and really a very committed guy to his team, but also to timelines with vendors, external vendors, and the whole partnership with him was really amazing. We did an Octane migration together from ALM QC to ALM Octane, and he's a guy, he keeps on motivating his team and is also himself very motivated. So with his mindset, I was really super happy during the project and happy to have him here today with us. So he will be answering few questions. We will ask him about his experience on the ALM Octane transformation from ALM QC and how they manage the whole thing. So talk to him in a few seconds. Okay, super excited. Now, finally, Stefan Berchtold from Sunrise is with me, and I'm super excited to have him here. Again, thank you, Stefan, for contributing to the Octane Academy. I'm super happy to hear from you, your transformation from ALM Quality Center to ALM Octane, and hear your feedback to the community. Thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Before we start, Stefan, can you maybe quickly introduce yourself, your role, and maybe also your organization where you are working currently?
Mm-hmm. So I started in Sunrise in 2011, there in the customer service area as a project manager. Then after a few years, I moved to IT, responsible for testing. And within that team, I took over the team then as a release manager, responsible for release management and testing. And part of the responsibility of that team is the ALM QC at that time and ALM Octane these days. Yeah.
So it's back then, 2013, where you were acting as a project manager, have you had contact with QC, or you were really working on project management?
I was working with QC, yes. We did a lot of testing, and I moved a lot of my ways were in the testing area there. Yeah. So I used the testing part of ALM QC at that time.
And today at Sunrise, you are taking care about release management, test management, and have, I think, a dedicated team working with you, right?
Yes. Yes.
And Sunrise has also started the transformation for Agile.
Exactly. Yeah. So we started. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, please.
We started a year ago, or actually this year, and yes, we are moving along our agile journey. Also, release train engineer is in my team, and yeah, we are moving step by step and improving step by step.
So, as part of this agile journey, when did you had the first, let's say, impression that when looking at quality management, that quality center maybe not be valid anymore, I would say, to the approach you have taken with Agile?
So we were working with quite an old version at the time. So it was ALM QC 12, version 12.01, which is at the time it was already quite outdated. And yeah, all the setup and the way it was working was a bit slow. It was a bit difficult to set up, and we didn't find a way, or we were thinking how we could involve or add Agile to ALM QC, and we didn't find a way to do it actually. So to all the underlying methodologies or the idea was just not there in ALM QC.
Yes, it was built more for the traditional approaches, I would say, while as Octane is addressing the modern quality approaches.
Exactly.
Which covers also, you are still working on the transformation to Agile, or have you completed it today at Sunrise?
We're still working. So currently we're working in a hybrid model. So we have both waterfall and agile working in parallel. And Octane is a big help in managing both of them in parallel, actually.
And I think this was also one of the key aspects why you have taken this journey to move away from QC towards Octane, because it provides this capabilities to work in waterfall approach, fully agile, or maybe if you have a mix, you can work in this mixed approach like you are doing today, right?
Exactly.
The whole comparison between ALM QC and Octane, from your perspective, Stefan, what is the best improvement you have achieved with Octane, or what we have provided to you?
What I like a lot is that you get an overview very fast. So while in QC you still had to dig quite deep to get your information, in Octane it's very fast to get an overview where you are and what's going on, where you have issues. So the reporting capabilities in Octane are fabulous. They can be improved left and right, of course, but what comes out of the box at the very beginning is very good.
So everything seems to be like one click away, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to use the buzzword, yes, it's true. Yeah. Okay. So I can 1 or 2 clicks and find my information. Yeah.
And the UX has also been changed to Octane. From your perspective, you have been onboarding different user communities within Sunrise. How difficult was it? Because it's still a new tool people has to use. So how was your journey towards the adoption of the users from QC mindset then really to ALM Octane?
From the techie guys or developers, this was quite smooth, I would say. They appreciated the modern look and that many different browsers are supported. They appreciate this a lot, and I mean, they're tech oriented, so they found their way pretty quick. For the business users, they're fast as well. What gave us gave both parties a bit problems. In ALM QC, we were not using the runs, so we had to do this mind switch when we execute tests, and this was a bit difficult at the beginning, but now they're used to it, and this works pretty smooth actually.
What do you mean you were not using the runs?
In QC, we just created a test case in the lab, in the
test set.
In the test set, we created it there, and then we moved it to the lab and executed right there. We changed the status from there, so we didn't create a run or something.
Okay, so basically it was in the grid where you have the list of the test sets and test cases, and you just checked past.
We checked off there, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And in Octane, this is not possible, but that's the way that's supposed to way to do it, right? We changed this, of course. We follow the structure there, and this change of how to do things took a bit longer, but we did several trainings. We were sitting with the users, and some effort, but it's working fine now. So people know now how it should work.
I would now share my screen in order to show you all the different modules we provide, and would like to know what for you are an administrator for sure, but your users, because you have been working, as I understand, at Sunrise in ALM QC with the requirements module. You have created the test coverage in the test plan module. From the test plan module, you went into the test lab module in order to execute the test cases. Because the whole concept has changed now in Octane, how are you using it today? Let me now quickly share my screen. So I am currently here in ALM Octane. So this is basically the view I would assume you have as an administrator.
Exactly, yeah.
I will show you additional views, and then you can say which one is probably used by the users. Yeah? So it's could be in the same project. So here I have different views on the modules. This is the same. Here you have only the quality module. Is this something users are using actively, or is it more on the agile side, or this one where only requirements-based approach is taken, which is for sure coming from the traditional waterfall approaches?
Yeah, so the biggest part of the users is using the requirements module. That's true. So what we built in the requirements module is the releases we have, and within the releases we added the project as requirement documents. And from there they have the requirements. Of course, they added the tests to the requirements, and this is how most of the people use it at the moment. The agile people, they use, of course, the agile view.
Okay. So basically this was the structure, or this is the way you have implemented the requirements module, the test plan module, and the test lab module into one single view of Octane.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. So you managed everything here in the structure of requirements. You had the test coverage on the test, and also you have the related defect. If there are any, you could potentially see it directly here.
Exactly. And how we set it up makes it actually, makes the reporting quite powerful as well. I mean, one click overview and we know where we are with that single project or even the release.
So when you talk about reporting, is it more from your release manager perspective, test management perspective? Are you working in this view, or are you more consuming the dashboard module?
When we do in the release and when we do waterfall, we have daily meetings, quick checkups in the morning where we are with the project. So for this, we use the overview tab.
Okay.
And so one is the parent requirement, and then which would be the release for us, and then the child requirements would be the project. So for this, we use the overview tab. It's quick and fast, and you see it in one click what you want to know. Depends also which widgets you show for or what you want to see as a report for the release. And when we go overall across several things, across also the regression baseline, for example, we don't have it in the projects or in the release. We have it separate. So if we want to combine this, then we use the dashboard.
So it's more like for the overall topics, you use the dashboard module.
Exactly.
But when really working on releases, it's more context driven, more in the requirements area, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And what about the widgets here in the dashboard modules, but also in the overview tab of Octane? What are the commonly used widgets? Are you using this heat map, which you can see here?
Not yet. I wanted to use it, but then you still need to dig in a bit more and what makes most sense on our side, how to use it. What I like a lot in the dashboard is the trend. So you see how a release develops over time. It's
so like
also
this one,
very
or?
valuable. Yes, for example, yeah. Testing progress or how the defects are behaving. Also gives you a bit of a view on the maturity of a release.
Cool, very cool. So now being with Octane and transforming further towards Agile, are you also integrating with test automation and CI systems in your environment?
Yes. For test automation, we integrated via Jenkins. We're also doing POCs now on how to integrate the dev pipelines and automatic updates throughout the chain, actually, from developer committing the code until rolling it out, testing it automatically, updating defect statuses, for example, in between, all automatic until change request creation for rollout to production. All these things, we try to integrate them automatically. It's a new journey for us, actually.
Yeah.
But I think as part of this chain happy path, I think we have it like 80% done.
Is it the process we were discussing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it's now getting more and more final. So the whole DevOps deployment of fixes, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But we're still in a POC phase, so it needs to prove first that it's really working.
Definitely. Yeah.
Now we're still in kind of developing the whole flow.
Okay. Very cool. If you would have to give, because currently a lot of people, not only in Switzerland, but also Germany, you have worldwide organization looking into Octane, majorly also people who are coming from QC. If you would have to do the whole migration again with the experience you gained so far today, what would you do differently? Is there something you would do differently? And if there is, what would it be?
That's a good question. I think we would do a lot more training with the people, because for them it was quite a change, right? So the whole methodology, mainly on how to execute tests and everything, that was a big learning for them, or a big change. We would do way more training.
Okay.
What I think we did good is we did a big cleanup before we moved to Octane. So we really, I mean, QC was working in Sunrise for like even before I joined Sunrise, and it built up kind of historically a lot of things. And before we migrated, we really went through this custom fields, all these custom processes that were made, and we really ran through them and checked: is this still used? Is it still needed? And we really were pushing stuff out that was not in use anymore, or didn't have any use, or yeah. I mean, this cleanup before the migration was essential, that it went pretty smooth, I would say, the technical migration as such. And then, of course, then onboarding the users, I recommend everyone that is doing it invest a lot of time in training.
Definitely. New tool is always, you have to take care that the user are happy with it. But the recommendation, and I have to admit that it was one of the, role model projects I have been involved, the way you have handled the transformation before going into Octane, clearing out or cleaning out the existing QC projects, the structures, and really thinking about how to transfer the data into the right areas, and what are the areas maybe you have been using in QC which are not really up to date or even outdated. So this is something really what I learned also during the project with you guys. So very cool. One last question, Stefan, when you look at ALM Octane and you have to select only one single feature, which is your favorite, what would it be and why?
The reporting feature. I'm speaking from a manager point of view, where I want to see how things are going, and that's very important for me. So I log in, I click once and twice on. I click on the requirements module, I click on the overview, and I know where we are. That's saves a lot of time, and it's quick, and I don't need to question anything there. So I see where we are. And that's from a manager point of view, it's great. From an admin point of view, I can also say, I like the workflows, the visualized workflows. I like them a lot as well. So I was, during the migration, I was playing a lot with the defect workflow, and maybe
sorry,
you
I'm
remember.
laughing because I remember it.
And it's quick, easy, and from the first view what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. These are the 2 points, one from a manager point of view and other one from an admin point of view, which I like a lot.
I just see I missed one question, sorry. Administration view. You are, and this is also where customers or people who are, or organization going towards Octane ask, you have a team of people who take care about the Octane administration, right? Including yourself. So how many people would you say do you have in the team, and how much is it the effort you put into the whole administration? Currently you have a lot of effort, I believe, because you are adapting more and more projects towards Octane, so you have to invest a bit. But overall, let's say for those projects who are already in Octane, what is the effort behind it in administrating it?
I mean, the effort is then when we set up a new release, and it's compared to QC, it's like 10%, I would say. Because what we do is we set up the projects and set some default assignees, but that's it. And yeah, with the very visual admin tool or administrator console, it's pretty quick.
Okay. And the team members, the number of team members?
So my team is 5 people. Of which like 2, like me, and 1 more is mainly active in the administrator console. Another 1 like medium, and the rest they have access. They know how it looks like and they know what they can do, but they're more like on the backup side.
Okay, great. Really, thanks a lot again, Stefan, for sharing this information with the community.
You're welcome.
I'm really happy to have you here and have asked the opportunity to ask you questions. So thanks for your time and effort. And I think we will do another session maybe in half a year or in a year to see where you are and what experience you have additionally gained. So thanks again.
Of course.
And talk to you very soon.
Sure. Thank you very much, Amir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So this was the user session with Stefan Berchtold from Sunrise about their experience and transformation from ALM QC to a modern quality management system, ALM Octane. Hope you learned a few inputs, you enjoyed the session, and talk to you next time when we come up with our next user session for ALM Octane.